Jesus heals the blind man. Story of Bartimaeus. Bartimaeus was a blind beggar who called out to Jesus for mercy and healing. The faith of Bartimaeus is seen in how he addresses Jesus as the Son of God. While the crowd tells the blind man to be quiet, Bartimaeus just became louder. When Jesus tells his disciples to bring the blind man over, a miracle happens because of his faith. Bible text of Christ healing the blind man. From the book of Mark chapter 10 verse 46 to 52. And they came to Jericho. And as he was leaving Jericho with his disciples and a great crowd, Bartimaeus, a blind beggar, the son of Timaeus, was sitting by the roadside. And when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." And many rebuked him, telling him to be silent. But he cried out all the more, "Son of David, have mercy on me." And Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." And they called the blind man, saying to him, "Take heart. Get up, he is calling you." And throwing off his cloak, he sprang up and came to Jesus. And Jesus said to him, "What do you want me to do for you?" And the blind men said to him, "Rabbi, let me recover my sight." And Jesus said to him, "Go your way, your faith has made you well." And immediately he recovered his sight and followed him on the way. From the book of Luke chapter 18 verse 35 to 43. As he drew near to Jericho, a blind man was sitting by the roadside begging. And hearing a crowd going by, he inquired what this meant. They told him, "Jesus of Nazareth is passing by." And he cried out, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." And those who were in front rebuked him, telling him to be silent. But he cried out all the more, "Son of David, have mercy on me." And Jesus stopped and commanded him to be brought to him. And when he came near, he asked him, "What do you want me to do for you?" He said, "Lord, let me recover my sight." And Jesus said to him, "Recover your sight, your faith has made you well." And immediately he recovered his sight and followed him, glorifying God. And all the people, when they saw it, gave praise to God. In the book of Mark chapter 10 verse 46 to 52, Bartimaeus is given the name of a blind beggar, whose eyes Jesus Christ opened as he went out from Jericho on his last journey to Jerusalem. An almost identical account is given from the book Luke chapter 18 verse 35 to 43. Except that the incident occurred as he drew nigh unto Jericho, and the name of the blind man is not given. Again, according to the book of Matthew chapter 20 verse 29 to 34, as they went out from Jericho, two blind men received their sight. It is not absolutely impossible that two or even three events are recorded, but so close is the similarity of the three accounts that it is highly improbable. Regarding them, as referring to the same event, it is easy to understand how the discrepancies arose in the passage of the story from mouth to mouth. The main incident is clear enough, and on purely historical grounds, the miracle cannot be denied. The discrepancies themselves are evidence of the wide currency of the story before our Gospels assumed their present form. It is only a most mechanical theory of inspiration that would demand their harmonization. International Standard Bible Encyclopedia. Bartimaeus had heard of Jesus and his miracles, and learning that he was passing by, hoped to recover his eyesight. In coming to Christ for help and healing, we should look to him as the promised Messiah. The gracious calls Christ gives us to come to him encourage our hope that if we come to him we shall have what we come for. Those who would come to Jesus must cast away the garment of their own sufficiency, must free themselves from every weight, and the sin that, like long garments, most easily besets them. From the book of Hebrews chapter 12 verse 1. He begged that his eyes might be opened. It is very desirable to be able to earn our bread, and where God has given men limbs and senses, it is a shame, by foolishness and slothfulness, to make themselves, in effect, blind and lame. His eyes were opened. Thy faith has made thee whole, faith in Christ as the Son of David, and in his pity and power, not thy repeated words. but thy faith. Christ setting thy faith to work. Let sinners be exhorted to imitate blind Bartimaeus. Where the gospel is preached, or the written words of truth circulated, Jesus is passing by, and this is the opportunity. It is not enough to come to Christ for spiritual healing, but, when we are healed, we must continue to follow Him, that we may honor Him, and receive instruction from Him. Those who have spiritual eyesight, see that beauty in Christ that will draw them to run after Him.